1860. The Smiths, Ellen and Oliver. Years later, the Bryces came to help the Smiths on the farm in here. And the Bryces lost one little girl and one 21-year-old. And then sometime later, Mrs. Smith died. So Oliver packed up and left then. We sold the house in the 40 acres just outside of Corrowa. We sold that in 2003, and in January 2004 we headed off to do Australia, and our plan was to travel for 5 years. Well, we got 1 year in and we saw a lot of Western Australia. We did 35,000 kilometres in that year, and yeah, unfortunately it came to an end. I fell off my perch.
So we were just sitting around talking after dinner, and all of a sudden Dad just lost consciousness. His head went back on the lounge and wasn't breathing. Jumped up, checked his pulse, and there was nothing there. So I knew how to do CPR, so that's what I did, and it seemed like it went forever, you know. So yeah, 20 minutes later, when the ambulance they finally turned up, there was still no breathing, still no pulse, and it was very dramatic. They cut his shirt open and defibbed him right there on our lounge room floor, and they had to do it a couple of times before they could get any sort of heartbeat, and then he was off to the hospital. Although the CPR didn't get him breathing again, it kept the blood circulating and flowing in order to sustain him until the ambulance got there. There wasn't enough though, and that actually did cause a little bit of swelling on the brain and quite a bit of brain damage as well. My dad he's still my dad. He makes me laugh, and you know, he's a really good man. We're pretty lucky that that they came to Sydney when they did, because that could have been a different outcome. To be in such a beautiful place like Wonnangatta, it just makes me so happy that my dad is still alive and we can do these things together. I know that this created a really special bond between me and my dad, and yeah, he doesn't have to say it, but I know he's really, really thankful.